is if anyone's got any points they want to ask any of the other people over here, you can do that now. Anyone?
Yeah, I think I just want to add something again about the overseas players. I think that's a great point. And obviously, I think we want to play Mujib as one of our spinners. But then if you play Mujib, you only have 3 overseas players left, so it's a massive issue. And I think you want to play obviously Cottrell or Jordan as overseas bowler as well. So then you're only left with 2 overseas batsmen. So I think Mujib might not even start, and he's not actually my starting 11, which we'll talk about later. But I think that becomes the issue: the fact that our bowling is over reliant on kind of overseas. And the fact is, our batting also relies quite heavily on overseas players. So some Indian players are going to have to step up and have a great IPL if we're going to reach the top 4.
Fair enough. Also, I had a question for you, Veer, since you're the Punjab fan here. Shami hasn't always been the most reliable death bowler. And given the makeup of this squad, it looks quite likely that Shami's going to have to bowl at the death. So what are your views on that?
Yeah, well, I think Shami's been a bit of a hit and miss. But I think actually of late Shami, the last couple of years, I think he's shown in the World Cup as well last year that he's actually improved quite a lot. And I think him, along with Jasprit, I think are the go-to Indian fast bowlers at the death at the moment. So I would say that I think it could be an issue, but I have confidence in him. I think he can kind of turn up with the goods. And I think this kind of slower UAE tracks that keep low, I think kind of suits him. He slingy action. He bowls a slower ball as well. So I think he has the potential to do it. But as you know, T20, just one bad day can be a huge thing. And so I think we're banking a lot on him, and it's a great chance for him to really deliver. I think if he can stand out this year, as in the Punjab team, he can cement his place in the Indian T20 side as well. And so it's a great chance for him. So really looking forward to it.
Fair enough. Anybody else? Any points?
I had a question, Ahaan. You mentioned KL's captaincy. Do you think it's really going to be make that much of a difference?
I think I'm actually really looking forward to see how KL captains this year, because I think for me, along with Shreyas Iyer, these are the 2 people I see as India's next captain prospects after Kohli, whenever Kohli decides to step down or retire. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I feel like this year, because it's his first year, I feel the relationship is going to be a bit like Ponting and Shreyas was a couple of years ago, which basically Shreyas was the more understated character. He was learning a lot from Ponting and understanding how things work. I feel like that's going to be the kind of relationship that's going to happen with Kumble, because Kumble's done this before. He's captain India, and he's been head coach of India. So I feel like he's going to lead a lot more and take a lot more of the harder decisions, especially in terms of personnel and managing people. But I think for KL personally, this is a very big season as well, because not only is he captain, he's also opener, and as we have spoken about the reliance on him at the top of the order. And also, if he decides to, because these days he's wicket keeper for India, so he decides to keep as well. So he'll be captain, wicket keeper, opening batsman. That's a lot of pressure, especially when it's your first time as captain. So it's something that I'm looking forward to see how he handles. Unless maybe, I mean, there is an obvious wicket-keeping option in Nicholas Pooran if he doesn't want to keep this season. But yeah, so that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing, and I think it will make a difference, because captaincy weighs differently on different people. So let's see how KL deals with the pressure.
Can I add to that? So Ahaan knows this, and we've talked about this before, but I KL Rahul is my favorite India player right now. Like, I think he's just incredible, and I think maybe him and Shreyas could potentially be like captains in that order, like him and Shreyas. But I think for KL Rahul, in terms of his personality and what I can see him as a player, he doesn't seem as assertive as like some other players in terms of like his presence. He's not a Kohli, but he's also not a Dhoni, right? So maybe the comparisons to Shreyas Iyer in terms of learning how to captain are like a good, like was what I was thinking along the line as well. But I also think it depends on the team. With Shreyas Iyer, like one of the advantages he has is like he was filled with his peers in terms of young Indian talent, right? So like his team was like pretty much players like him. With KL Rahul, I want to see how he really works with players like Chris Gale, who is much older than him and has much more experience, but also like gives helps out players like Mujib or Sarfraz Khan, who are younger, So I want to see how he works with that different balance. But with Shreyas Iyer in Delhi, because a lot of the players were his age, with the exception of like Mishri and Ishan and stuff, but like the Indian core young batsmen were his age. So I think that dynamic automatically had an ability to work, but I want to see how KL can work in this dynamic where the team is a little more diverse in terms of experience and age.
Fair enough.